welcome to the WHHI News. I'm Allie McNair. Here's a look at your headlines. Well, it's Memorial Day weekend, and all of the Low Country's major towns and cities have special parades and services to commemorate those who died in service to their country. Buford's Memorial Day Parade begins at 10 on Monday morning and runs from Boundary Street toward the Buford National Cemetery, where a special service will be held after the parade. Bluffton's Memorial Day commemoration takes place at the Buckwalter Place Park at 10 in the morning. Hilton Head Island service is on Monday from 9:30 to 10:30 at Shelter Cove Community Park. Now, if your idea of Memorial Weekend is to celebrate what seems to be the beginning of summer, the famed Tiki Hut Bar at Coligny Beach on Hilton Head reopened Friday after an 8-month-long, $13 million renovation. But as a sobering reminder of what's to come, hurricane season officially begins June 1st, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's official forecast is not a happy one. NOAA is predicting between 17 and 25 named storms, more than they've ever predicted before. The average is about 14, 7 of which become hurricanes. Now, there were 20 named storms last year, the fourth most ever, with 7 of those becoming hurricanes. Waters in the Atlantic and Caribbean are already warmer than their peak temperatures last decade, and studies show that warmer waters fuel more powerful storms. Well, the principal and vice principal at McCracken Middle School in Bluffton won't be back at that school this fall, but the school district won't say if it has anything to do with a lawsuit filed in federal court against them for knowingly employing Shandiqua Jenkins, who's accused of abusing an autistic child in school. It describes how Jenkins reportedly grabbed and hit an autistic child with a wooden ruler during school in 2023. That was when the student was less than 14 years old. The parents report the child was extremely bruised and now flinches whenever touched by an adult. The Island Packet is reporting that Principal Ryan Milley and Vice Principal Joseph Hollington, named as defendants in the case, won't be back to school this fall, but also aren't saying if they're leaving or being reassigned by the district. They're accused of covering up the abuse incident in January of 2023, saying they'd handle it internally. Jenkins was arrested at that time and was fined over $1,100. The Supreme Court has maintained the lines of the 1st Congressional District in South Carolina that a lower court had invalidated as an unlawful racial gerrymander. Thursday's decision by the High Court gave a win to Republican mapmakers who said they use politics, not race, as the predominant factor when drawing the district boundaries. The 6-3 ruling from the High Court reverses the ruling from a 3-judge district court panel that had found the GOP lawmakers improperly used race when designing Congressional District 1, represented by Republican Representative Nancy Mace. Walterboro Police and the Culloden County Sheriff's investigators are still trying to figure out who shot a Walterboro man, his girlfriend, and her grandson in a triple homicide. 2-year-old Isira Cole, her grandmother, 43-year-old Alicia Gardner, and her boyfriend, 49-year-old Harvell Breland, were shot at Gardner's home early Saturday morning on May 18th. Police described the shooting as a targeted act, though they're still looking for who pulled that trigger. Now, if you'd like more information on these stories and more, be sure to check out the news sources on your screen and look for us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. If you have a story idea, email us at news@WHHI-TV.com. It is time for sports. Here he is, Justin Jarrett.
Hey, it's time for Last Night in the Lowco on WHHI, powered by LowcoSports.com. Believe it or not, we're less than 3 months from the kickoff of high school football season, and schools across the Lowco are getting in their 2 weeks of spring practice, with many wrapping up the mini camps by opening up the stadium for intra-squad spring games to give a first glance at what to expect this fall. The May River Sharks hit the turf at the Tank on Wednesday, featuring more of the power running game that has become their calling card, with a series of dynamic quarterbacks coming through the program, including current signal caller Tanner Macy, who is drawing big interest from high academic programs like the Ivies. We're expecting a turnaround after a rebuilding season in year 1 under Richard Bonneville. But the Sharks will have to contend with the rival Bluffton Bobcats and Buford Eagles, among others, in Region 7 4A. The Bobcats have made a big jump in their first 2 seasons under Hayden Gregory, and with the dangerous duo and quarterback Aiden McCarthy and heavily recruited receiver Carnell Warren, they will be a fun team to watch. Bryce Librand's Buford Eagles will return to Class 4A after a 2-year stopover in which they claimed a Class 3A state title. And with quarterback Samari Bonds returning along with physical phenom Amari Patterson at wideout, expect to see some eye-popping highlights from the Isle of Ladies this fall. We'll hear from Gregory and Librand and look ahead to high school football season, plus reflect on Jack Cresor's win at the match play at Congaree, check in on a former Lowco baseball star playing for a national championship starting Saturday, and much more on Friday's episode of the Lowco Sports Lowdown, streaming live at 9 p.m. For Lowco Sports and WHHI, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
Thanks, Justin. Here's Maria Soden. She's got our Memorial Day weekend forecast.
Thanks, Allie. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it does look like we have relatively nice weather for this holiday weekend, but then we are going to be seeing thunderstorms returning once we get into next week. So taking a look at Saturday, it's going to be partly cloudy with Hillnet having a high of 87, a low of 73, Bluffton's of a high of 90, a low of 71, and Buford's of a high of 90 and a low of 72. Come Sunday, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy with Hillnet having a high of 87, a low of 74, Bluffton's of a high of 89, a low of 72, and Buford's of a high of 89 and a low of 73. The sunrise for this weekend is going to be at 6:19 and sunset's going to be at 8:20. Taking a look at the tides, Saturday high tides going to be at 11:11 a.m. and low tides going to be at 6:18 p.m. And then come Sunday, high tides going to be 11:57 a.m. and low tides going to be at 7:02 p.m. Taking a look into next week, Monday, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy throughout the day, but then we are going to see a rather strong thunderstorm roll in later in the evening. Highs are going to be in the 90s, lows in the 70s. Then come Tuesday, it's going to be sunny in the morning. We are going to see scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the afternoon, but it should be clearing up by the evening. Highs are going to be in the 90s, lows in the 70s. And then come Wednesday, it's going to be sunny with highs getting into the upper 80s and lows are going to be in the 60s and 70s. That's it for today. Let's head it back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. Still to come, we'll speak with State Senator Tom Davis, learn about new indoor pickleball courts on Hilton Head Island, and we'll find out all the details on how residents can get parking passes for the beach. Don't go away.